horse seat and rising up nice and tall out of this base of support that we've established. Taking some deep breaths. You can bring those shoulders up as you inhale and then release them down as you exhale. Maybe 2 or 3 more times. Sigh it out, vocalize, allow those vocal cords to open up. Inhaling, shoulders up. And a big sigh. Letting it go. Letting it go. Notice if you can bring a sense of softening through your shoulders and hands, maybe even drop your hands down by your sides. And bring a word or phrase of intention into your practice today. And say it to yourself 3 times before we start moving. Blinking, your eyes open, sitting up tall, reaching your arms out to the sides wide, noticing how your shoulders are feeling, and if this is a good position, or if you want to bend your elbows, so elbows straight or bent as you open wide, and then let's close the arms, bringing one arm over top for that hug, and round down, bringing your chin to your chest, noticing how the back side of your body is feeling. Inhale, lifting up, opening those arms wide, straight or bent. And then bringing the other arm on top. A little hug, squeeze, round your chin and chest. And lifting up again. Open up wide. This time, see if you can reach your arms all the way up if that's feeling okay. And exhale, cactus arms. Opening up wide through your heart center, shining the energy of your heart out. Inhale, reaching your arms up again. Exhale, cactus. One more time. Inhale up, maybe looking up this time. Exhale, cactus. Looking down. Feel a stretch through the back of your neck. And then floating your hands all the way down. Wiggle your fingers, shake out your hands. Start taking our alternate shoulder rolls. One shoulder back and then the other with straight or bent elbows. Remember, you can always help out an arm or two, especially if one side is affected. Feel that twisting through the torso as you bring those arms up and back each time. Good. Bring your hands down by your sides. Take a breath, a pause, and then we'll go forward. Shoulders alternating forward. Elbows could lift or straight arms. Imagine where you're swimming. I like to imagine swimming up a Horsetooth Reservoir. Ooh, good. My shoulders are starting to get warm, so bring your arms down by your sides and hands on your knees, feet at least shoulder width apart. Sit up toward the middle, at least the middle of your chair, so we can do some of our seated cat and cow motions. So remember, as you go into cow, instead of leaning forward, we're leaning the hips and the low back towards your chair, and your chin comes to your chest. And then as you come into cow, you're lifting your chest, kind of leaning forward as you pull your elbows and shoulders back, chin lifts. Exhale, rounding into cat, tipping your hips and low back toward the chair, chin to chest. You could say meow, really enunciate, meow. And then lifting up to cow, pulling your elbows and shoulders back. See if you can feel those shoulder blades kind of squeezing together behind you, and say moo. It's almost Halloween, so we need to start saying our our howling coyote, which is ow. And let's do that one more time. Rounding into cat, chin to chest. Inhale, and you can say your meow there, sorry. And then lifting up to howling coyote. Ow. Nice, releasing out of that. So sitting back a little bit more in your chair. Inhale, reaching your arms up to the sides. Exhale into cactus and turn toward one side using your deep core abdominals. Come back to center and turn toward the other side. With control, back to center, to the first side, a little bit longer, and then rest those hands down. So the front hand can come to your opposite knee, back arm rests wherever it feels comfortable. Looking off to the side, sitting up tall, taking a couple of deep breaths. Maybe looking further back with your head or even just your eyes. Looking all around. And as you're looking around, say ooh-ee, ooh-ee. And really get those lips moving and your vocal cords moving too. Inhale, back to center, releasing the arms, bringing them up. Exhale to cactus. Use your torso muscles to turn and then bring your hands down. Front hand to your opposite knee, back arm can rest beside you or on the back of the chair. Looking off to the side. Taking a couple of deep breaths. Maybe looking further back, even just with your eyes, looking around. And again, as your eyes are wide and open, saying ooh-ee, ooh-ee. One more time, ooh-ee. Nice. Slowly releasing, coming back to center, bringing your arms, reaching up. And let's try reaching one hand up even farther. The other elbow could bend a little bit. And then switching to the other side. Reach high, high, high. One more time on each side. Reaching high. And the other one. Good. And then just allow your arms to float down. Take some shoulder circles. Both directions. Good. And let's go up to the neck next, since we've gotten a lot warmed up in our shoulders, so our neck is ready for a little bit more. So start by noticing, just bringing your chin to your chest. Notice how that feels. Lift your chin, don't dump your head back, but just look up toward the ceiling. Feel a stretch through your throat, maybe even swallow. Bring your head back to neutral. Look over one shoulder. Bring your chin down towards your chest. Lift your chin up. You're still looking over that one shoulder. Bring your head through center, nice and slow, looking over the other shoulder. Lower your chin towards your chest, very gently, and then lifting it up to the shoulder and look back to center. Good. Let's do our rainbow motion. So you're bringing your chin down to your chest. And bring your chin over toward one shoulder. Draw your rainbow across the sky with your chin. Nice and slow to the other shoulder. And back to your chest. Remember that rainbow can be really small or bigger. Then reversing direction, chin to your shoulder. Drawing the rainbow across the sky. Your other shoulder, chin back to chest. We'll do one more time on each side. So chin to your first shoulder, drawing that big rainbow across the sky to to your other shoulder, and chin back to your chest. Don't let me rush you though. And reversing direction last time. Chin towards your shoulder. Draw your rainbow to the other shoulder and to your chest. On an inhale, slowly lift your head back up to center. Give it that little side to side motion to integrate what we've done. Maybe even a couple of shoulder circles as you do this. Good. And then bringing your, coming back to your neutral position, we'll do our somatic shoulder shrugs. So you're lifting your shoulders up towards your ears. Take a breath and then slowly lower them down, smoothing it out. Remember, we want these transitions to be as smooth as possible when we're practicing, so that in everyday life, these muscles become more and more smooth every time we practice this. Pause at the bottom, and then you're lifting your shoulders up again. Remember, if the pain is on the back side of your neck, or even the back side of your shoulders, you might want to hunch down and bring your shoulders kind of up and back a little bit more instead of towards your ears. And then slowly lower them down. It's good to practice both of these angles, or find even another angle that works for you. And then let's do our last one, shoulders up toward the ears. Slowly melting them down, releasing tension. And bring your hands all the way down by your sides, so you're not holding in your hands or your elbows. Imagine those shoulders sliding down to the floor as you sit up nice and tall through your torso. So even though we're sitting up tall, the shoulders stay down and relaxed. Nice. Take another breath, and let's start working down into the legs. And let's give one leg a kick out and in several times. And as you're doing this, if you'd like to feel more of a squeeze, you can slow this down and really hug those muscles, and then kick your heel back and hug in your hamstring muscles. So allowing for some strengthening and stretching. This time, keep your leg out there and take some ankle circles. In the other direction. Pointing and flexing. And if your leg feels tired, that's good. That means you're building strength and endurance. Just take a deep breath if it feels fatigued, and then slowly lower your foot down. Take a pause before we go to the other side, kicking and bending your knee. You can make this faster or really slow it down and hug those muscles every time. Kind of squeezing them and squeezing your hamstrings. And then this time, extend your leg out. Remember, you can always place your foot on a block. And then take some ankle circles. And the other direction. Keep breathing. Take a deep breath if you're getting tired. And then pointing and flexing. Good. Place your foot on the ground. And then coming into a little bit of hip mobility before we go start working with the ball. Bring one knee in and out, noticing how that's feeling. And then the other knee in and out. Try to use your hip muscles as much as you can while you're doing this. Good. So if you do have a ball, if it's nearby, go ahead and grab that. Mine's right over here. And we will start by, so you could also use a chair in front of you or some kind of a ottoman for your foot to rest on. But we're going to try bringing one foot up to the ball with your knee out to the side. Unless that just doesn't feel good for you, your knee could be straight up. But if you're able to take kind of this figure 4 position and rest your ankle on the side of the ball and then start to extend and bend your knee. So we're working both into the knee and the hip joint. In and out a few times. Good. Now, point your toes straight up because we're going to bring our knee straight up this time. Again, as long as that works, this angle works for you. So you're really kind of grounding your heel into the ball, pressing your heel, and then you might feel a lot of work going on the back side of your leg to pull that ball in and press it out. Good. So extend it out and see if you can kind of lay most of your leg on the ball. And you might feel a hamstring stretch just seated upright here. Or if you want to go deeper, then bring your hand down toward your foot. And your knee can be bent or straight, whatever feels good. And if you have room to take some ankle circles or point and flex, that can increase the stretch or change up where you feel the stretch. Take another deep breath or two. And then sitting up, kind of releasing that. If you'd like to also, you could just kind of bring your leg in and out a few times. So we're really moving through the hip, back and forth. Nice. So go ahead and bring that foot down and help the other leg up, coming up on top first in this external rotation of the hip. So the knee is out to the side as long as that works for you. Otherwise, the knee could be up straight or maybe just a little bit out to the side. And your ankle and heel are resting on top of the ball as you start to extend and bend in this direction. You might even feel a bit of a stretch on the inside of your thigh, or maybe the outside of your thigh as you do this. Now bring your foot so that your toes are pointing straight up, so your knee will come more straight up and in towards you, and you can help guide your leg with your hands, but really try to feel your heel pressing into the ball and bringing it in, so you're strengthening those hamstrings on the back side of your leg. So pressing it out and then pulling it in each time. Couple more times. Good. And then extending it out, pull the ball closer to you so that your leg can rest on the ball. And so again, seated up tall might be enough of a stretch for you, and your knee could be bent or fully straight here. And then if you want a deeper stretch, I recommend just bringing the same hand as that side of your leg and resting the other hand on your knee. You can point and flex your foot or take ankle circles, or even just kind of windshield wiper your foot side to side. Take 2 or 3 more deep breaths. And inhale as you rise up. Keeping your leg pretty much straight, just do this in and out motion. Again, working through the hip joint. Try to even kind of cross the midline of your body as you do that. And last one. Good. And bring your foot down. So now we're in a wide-legged stance, and just make sure you feel supported. I recommend having your hips back in your chair so that we can kind of roll that ball forward, and depending on how deep you want to go here, you might feel this stretch in your hips or your groin, or if you're able to go down further, you can even feel it in your shoulders. So my elbows and my forearms and my hands are all on the ball to support my arms. And then come on up at any time. Kind of give yourself a little break from that deep stretch. Take a breath or two. If you'd like to go back into it, feel free. Just allowing the ball to roll forward as you keep your whole forearms on the ball. Maybe even rest your head on the ball. Another option here would be to keep your forearms on the ball and hands and kind of be more up on your elbows. And you could maybe bring your forehead down to relax through your neck. Take some deep breaths wherever you're at, and you can always rise up and take a break. On your next inhale, start to rise up slowly, thinking one vertebrae at a time. Good. And then you might want to sit forward a little bit, keeping your legs wide, and we'll start bouncing that ball, have a little bit of fun. But remember, if your ball goes rolling, don't jump up to get it. Just pause, ask for help, or take your time getting it, or just let it go. Don't want anybody just jumping up suddenly as a reaction and falling. So you can try bouncing with one hand and then the other hand. And if you can't get it going, or if it stops and you can't get it going, pick it up and start from there. Start bouncing it from there. That's a little bit easier sometimes. And then try both hands at the same time. And remember, if you don't have a ball, I can't tell if everybody has one or not. If you don't have a ball, you can be doing this on your thighs, just kind of patting your thighs to a rhythm. This is really good eye, hand, hand-eye coordination and brain coordination. All right, so let's go ahead and grab it and pick it way up high. Feet are out wide to keep help you have support. And we'll take a little lean in one direction. Back to center. Keep reaching up as you lean over. So you're not collapsing into your side. And then reaching up. Good. Bring it on top of your head. Can you balance it? Woo! And then press it back up. And bring it down in front. Nice. So go ahead and just set it off to the side. Let it roll around wherever it decides to go. Nice. So let's come into a little bit of footwork. And actually, go ahead and take a drink first. All right. So if you have blocks or a pillow to put your feet on, go ahead and bring your feet up onto the blocks. And we'll start by taking some heel lifts, alternating one heel and then the other. I recommend doing this slowly at first So you can kind of feel a stretch into your toes. And then if you want to start going faster at a walking pace, feel free. You can use those hands. Tap, tap, tap. And then bring your heels onto the blocks or pillow, allowing your toes to kind of hang over the edges. And first, just lifting one foot up and feeling that stretch, feeling that engagement of your shin muscles. And then switch over to the other side. You could even reach down like I am and kind of like feel into it. And then start taking a little bit more of a tap, tap, walking pace if you want to. Bring in your arms, little swinging motion, and we'll take a walk after this. Bringing our feet to the ground and take more of an actual stepping walk. Right now, just focusing mostly into the feet and ankles. Good, so go ahead and bring your arms to stillness, just resting on your knees. Squeeze your knees, squeeze your toes over the ends of the blocks or into your shoes or the floor. Holding that for about 3 seconds, and then a slow opening of flower petals, imagining them as flower petals, opening wide, and then laying them down and taking a pause or a breath. And we'll do that 2 more times. Squeeze the ends of the blocks. See if you can notice all of your toes. I always want to squeeze with my big toes mostly, so I have to make myself squeeze into my pinky toes. And then open those toes wide, spreading them like rays of the sun. And then laying them down gently. And take a breath. So one more time, squeezing the ends of the blocks. You can do your fingers too, hugging your knees, and opening smoothly. And slowly laying them down. Nice. Very good. All right, so bring your feet out wide and extend your heels, or bring your heels to the ground, and we'll just take those little windshield wiper movements with the feet mostly. So try not to move your knees in and out so much, just your feet and toes moving in and out. Wiggle your toes. Good. Now come up onto your toes and let your heels kind of do that windshield wiper movement in and out. And so now we'll do we'll take our walk, and you can do this with the blocks, stepping up onto and then stepping off of the blocks. Or if you don't want to use the blocks and you just want to take a good old walk, then move the blocks out of the way. So you can get your arms swinging as you step, step, down, down. So you're stepping up and down. And you can use the blocks or not. Get your arms swinging into it as well. And once again, as I've explained before, my right foot always goes first. So I'm gonna switch it up. So I invite you to do the same by bringing your other foot up first. Unless you're just taking a regular walk, then you don't have to worry about it. You might even cross the arms over the midline of the body. Good. Get the blood pumping. Go at your pace. Take a break if you need to or want to. Last couple. And slowing it down, settling back to center. Ooh, take a deep breath, shake out your arms, take some shoulder rolls. Good. So our legs are still out wide, and we are going to do, we kind of did this a little bit, I think on Wednesday. It's a little bit of a different stretch, but the blocks are, if you have them, the blocks are there for you. The other option, if you don't have a block, you only really need one block here, but would be to place a forearm on your knee. So if you are able to reach down to your blocks, maybe set them up on this middle level. I'd like them to be pretty stable though, so that your hands can rest on them. If you do want to come up higher, just make sure that you're not going to wobble over or anything. So bringing your hands to the blocks, you're going to place your weight into one hand and then float the other arm up. Your elbow could be bent as you're kind of opening up to the side. And then sweep your hand back down. So we're doing a bit of a torso twist, and then sweep your arm up. Sweep your arm down. And one more time, sweeping your arm up and sweeping it back down to the block. Switching hands, if that's right for you. So sweeping the other arm up, make sure that that hand on the block is nice and supported. Sweeping your hand down. Sweep your hand up, opening up to the side. Sweep it down. We'll do one more. Sweeping up, reaching up. Your elbow could be bent. And reaching back down to the blocks. Just bring your elbows to your knees. Take a pause. Making sure you don't get lightheaded. And then inhale, lifting up through your deep core abdominal muscles. And go ahead and set your blocks off to the sides, out of your way. Nice. Let's do our warrior series. So stepping one leg out to the side, and you could use that block to support your leg. So this would be an option, is having your leg on the block, maybe even at an angle. Or having your foot extended out with your foot flexed. And then inhale, reaching your arms out to the sides, reaching out through both fingertips, both sets of fingertips, looking out over one hand. And maybe bring back your intention and say it to yourself, sending it out through your fingertips. Mine is, I surrender to open-hearted presence. And then looking over your other fingertips, your other hand. Bring your head back to center. Inhale, reaching your arms out to dancing warrior. Exhale, floating your arms out to the sides. Good. Bring your front hand to your front knee, so hand or forearm as you reach your other arm up and over for extended side angle. Elbow could be bent, or you could take big arm circles if you'd like to. Yeah, some slow big arm circles. Good, reaching your arm up. And coming back to warrior two, that hand comes down to your extended leg as you reach the other arm up toward the sky. And bring your arms out to warrior two and float them down. Help your extended leg back to center, shifting on your chair. Extend your other leg out. Notice if you want to use a block on this leg to support your leg. And either that foot can be planted with your knee bent or extended with a flexed foot. Inhale to warrior two. Noticing thoughts like stability, strength, courage. You can look over your fingertips to one side And slowly turn your head, looking over your other fingertips. Bring your head back to center. Big inhale, hands come up. Dancing warrior. Exhale, arms out. Bring your hand or forearm to your front knee as you reach the other arm, straight or bent, up toward the sky. Hand could rest on your head, or you could take some big shoulder circles. Take some deep breaths. And then finish with your arm reaching up. Inhale, lifting up to warrior two. That hand comes down to your extended leg as you reach the other arm up for exalted warrior. Keep reaching, reaching. Beautiful. Arms out to warrior two. And float them down. So just so you know, unfortunately, I have a hornet in my house, and it has been staying up at the ceiling, so we haven't been able to kill it yet or get it out. And it just flew at me. So hopefully it won't do that again. But if you see me kind of make a sudden movement, that is why. So go ahead and bring that leg back into center. And yeah, it's for some reason it decided to come fly by me right now. And I really don't want to kill it, but we were trying to get it to go outside yesterday, but it wasn't cooperating. So come back to center, a seated position, and stepping your feet out, we'll go into our, let's start with hands at heart center today. And let's take a couple rounds of Robin's breath. So take a nice deep breath. Exhale, rounding your spine, diving forward. Inhale, opening your arms up wide. Elbows could be bent or straight. Exhale, diving forward. Inhale, hands to heart center. Take a pause. Another just natural breath. And let's do that one more time. So a nice deep inhale. Exhale, diving forward. Inhale, opening wide. Exhale, diving forward. Inhale, hands to heart center. And breathe naturally. So we're going to go from our prayer pose to five-pointed star today. So remember, in five-pointed star, if you want to just lift your heels, you can do that. Or if you want to lean back and lift those legs as we reach our arms up, feel free to do that. And then bring your hands back to heart center. Take a pause. And then leaning back, reaching your arms and your legs, or just lifting your heels up. Hands come back to heart center, feet are out wide. Let's do it again. Nice, big, expansive pose, shining out your intention through the energy of your heart. Big and strong. Come back to hands at heart center. Good. So shake your arms out. We're going to do it one more time, but give yourself a little pause here. And then start with your hands in prayer position, feet out wide, and then expanding as big and wide, holding it for a couple of deep breaths, taking any movements that feel good. Bringing it back to heart center. Whew, nice. Made my hands tired. So let's go up into the hands and fingers, and let's do, so one thing I really like to do for my wrists, if they're ever feeling sore, is just a squeeze, like a gentle squeeze. And so this is one way I keep my wrists nice and healthy and supportive and strong. Then let's do a little bit more strengthening into the hands. So reaching your hands out forward and really pull those fingers down, opening up, and then pulling your fists in. Your elbows can be bent, and then opening up again. Breathe as you're doing this, pulling them in, really kind of pulling those fists, the wrists down, and then opening one more time. And making fists, pulling them in. Good. Ooh, nice. Shake them out. And then let's do our starfish push-up. So just bringing your palms to face each other. Press into your fingertips and your thumb tips as you peel your palms away from each other. You keep pressing, and then slowly bring your fingers and palms together. Now try this. Try keeping all of your fingers connected, but just your palms pull apart. So you might kind of bring your elbows out. So you're bending at that bottom knuckle of your fingers as you do this. And then bringing your palms together. So let's do that one again. So just the palms pull apart, but the fingers stay together as much as possible. And then bring your palms back together. Now just the fingertips stay together. You're pulling your palms and your fingers, everything except for the fingertips apart. Bringing them back together. Good. Take a little wiggle through your fingers. Maybe make some fists. And let's go ahead and do our airplane arms, leaning forward. So make sure your feet are nice and supportive. Reaching back to airplane and then leaning back, pulling those fists in. Airplane to bicep curl, back and forth at your pace. Also feeling into the deep core that's turning on. Another option here would be to kind of sweep your arms out and back and then bring them in this way. So more horizontal to the floor, if it's okay for your shoulders. So I don't know if you are trying that, you might feel it in a different spot on your arms, in your back. One or two more. Nice. Good. And then coming back to center, and we'll start to, so first, before you go to standing or any form of standing, ask yourself if it's right for you today. And if so, make sure everything is out of your way around your space. Bring in any support to come to standing safely. And then you can feel into your feet as we start rocking forward and back a few times, eventually coming to our halfway lifted chair pose. So when you arrive, you can choose your arm variation. So, hands can stay here supporting you, or heart center. Taking a couple deep breaths. Nice, Scott. Taking your cross-country stroll. And then bring your hands back to your seat and sitting back down. Go ahead and kick your legs out or take that little tapping motion. Getting some feedback through the soles of your feet. Make sure your feet are out to at least hip-width distance apart as we come to our second round of chair pose. And again, you can reach your arms out or to the sides, or Scott's cross-country ski version. Now it looks like he's doing some other kind of nice downhill, side to side slope. And then coming back to seated. Ooh, nice. Take any movements through your knees and hips. And let's do that one more time. A longer hold, we'll sit down, and then we'll go to standing. So this is building a lot of strength and endurance, and it's really a good practice for even for me to do. So eventually coming to that halfway lifted, knees are bent, hips are shifted back. Even though your chest is leaning forward, there's a sense of lift through your chest. And picking your arm position, really pressing your feet into the ground as if you would stand up. We're going to come to seated when you're ready. Good. Ooh, nice. All right, so this time going to standing if that's right for you today. So take your time getting there. Rising up through chair pose and just noticing your feet on the ground. A little rocking through each foot and each hip before you move, and maybe find your position so that you can hold on to a chair or table. And I'm just going to kind of increase that side to side motion into our step together. If you want to use your arms, swaying in and out, like any kind of a dancing flow. It's really good for the brain and the nervous system. If you'd like to increase, bring your knee up each time. So I'm kind of crossing my knee across my body, but you could just bring it straight up. So step, lift your knee, step, lift. But if you can, kind of cross your body with your knee. That's just kind of getting into some different muscles and also doing this cross body movement. You can even tap your knee with your opposite hand if it's free. Good. Nice. All right, so settle into a wide-legged stance. And then one or both hands or neither. So you can stay right here with your hands on something to support you, or maybe you reach one arm up or both into our big 5-pointed star. It's a big movement and a balance, especially if you're reaching with both hands. Maybe grow a big smile on your face. Say your intention out loud in your space. Ooh, and then float your hands down and bring your feet closer together. So let's go into, if you can, put your hands on the base of your chair. And we're going to step one foot back instead of standing upright doing this, although you could do it standing upright. I find that if we can get our hands down a little bit further, we're doing a couple of different things here. We're getting possibly into a deeper stretch in your calf. And this is almost like a modified plank. So you're getting some strengthening into your hands, wrists, arms. And if hands, fingers aren't happy here, you could always come up onto your fists or come onto your forearms. But that could take you a little bit lower than you want to go. You could bend and straighten your back leg a few times. And wherever you're at, pressing your hands back into the chair and switching your feet. So bringing the other foot behind. You can bend and straighten the front knee. Find your hand or arm position. And maybe bend and straighten that back knee. Good, and then pressing your hands into the seat of the chair. Bring your feet out wide, and there can be a soft bend in your knees, and this might be deep enough for you right here, or you might want to come to your forearms and do a wide-legged forward fold. So you could also possibly bring the crown of your head toward your seat. And if you know you want to go even deeper, reach toward the floor, you could maybe reach one hand toward the floor. I'm resting my forehead on the back of my arm. Take a couple more deep breaths. Good, and then press your hands into the seat. If you want to take another moment of a plank pose, you can walk your feet out a little bit further. So you could be on your hands or on your forearms here. And or knees could be on the floor as you do this. So this would just be if you want to do a little extra with a plank pose, build a little bit of both arm, shoulder strength, and core strength. Otherwise, whenever you're ready, come on down to the floor. Safely, slowly, mindfully. So on our backs, bringing your knees to your chest and rocking side to side, or your feet could stay planted on the ground and you could windshield wiper your knees side to side. And one option would be to do a butterfly where you bring your feet together and your knees open wide. And you can also support your hips by placing a block underneath your thighs or pillows. And you can stay right here. The other option would be to extend one leg up toward the sky and take another hamstring stretch. And you can point and flex your foot or take ankle circles. So either one, the butterfly, you're getting more of an inner thigh stretch and allowing your hips to relax, and or this other one is a hamstring stretch. So if you're doing the hamstring stretch, switch legs, extending your other leg up to the ceiling and taking ankle circles. Bring your foot down, and if your knees are out wide, you can stay there, or just come into your version of relaxation. Maybe your legs are long, or your legs are on a bolster. And we'll take several moments here of relaxation in Shavasana, allowing yourself to fully rest and integrate what we've done today. And allow your exhale to draw you deeper, calming, settling, and letting go. Bring your intention back to mind and say it 3 times. Starting with the crown of your head, imagine a relaxing, healing balm, kind of like molasses, just dripping down from the crown of your head, down over your eyes, your cheekbones, the back of your head and the sides of your head to your ears, jaws, and down the back of your neck, the sides of your neck, your throat, all releasing tension down through your shoulders. Notice if you could release just 5 or 10% of tension. Maybe exhaling it out And allowing this softening to come through your shoulders, pouring over the fronts of your shoulders to your chest, the backs of your shoulders to the back side of your heart, down the sides of your arms, coming down to your elbows, wrists, fingers and thumbs. Imagine all of that tension just releasing out through your fingertips, thumb tips. And then bring your awareness of this relaxation through your torso, from your chest, down through your lungs, your stomach, internal organs, releasing sides of your body, down to your hips and low back, softening and melting. Exhale through your hips and release down through your legs to your knees, bringing healing, light, energy, and warmth to your knees, and releasing down through your calves and your shins, to your heels, ankles, tops of your feet, soles of your feet, and all the way to your toes, your big toes, releasing tension, all the way through all of the tips of your toes, as if it could just drip out and release out. Bring your awareness to your heart center and to a candle flame flickering at your heart center. Breathing in and out of your heart center. And as you inhale, imagine your heart expanding. And as you exhale, your heart relaxes. Inhaling to expand and exhaling to relax. Inhaling, expanding, exhaling, relaxing. And as your breath becomes smooth, quiet, and even, that flickering candle flame becomes still. It settles along with your body, along with your breath, and it allows your mind to settle as well. Take the next couple of minutes in silence, just following your breath, and I will call you out when we're finished. And allow yourself to slowly come back to the present moment, taking some gentle movements through your hands and feet, or deeper breaths. Eventually coming over to one side in a supported position, or of course feeling free to stay here longer. And as you are ready, sitting up, taking a couple of deeper breaths, you can bring your hands to heart center or to cover your heart in honor of all of the love, light, and the teacher within you. And I say namaste. Thank you so much for being here.